Indiana starts first down and 10 at their own 10-yard line. And Tevin Coleman with some running room. Tevin Coleman down the sideline. Coleman, one man to beat. Tevin Coleman's going to go 90 yards, and Indiana takes the lead. Randall scrambles, thought about the pitch, keeps it himself down the sidelines. He could go. Antoine Randall L. touchdown.
Going to the single coverage, end zone, touchdown! He hits Cooper again.
That's it. It's all over. Blow it up, rip up the contract, in the team, in the program. Honestly, it's done. It's over. If you don't know what I'm talking about, our now 10-1 Indiana Hoosiers have lost to Ohio State, 15-38. They are no longer in the playoff. They're no longer even a football team anymore. So the one team that they've played all season whooped them up and down the field and blah, blah, blah. I'm just kidding. We're not going to be like that. So what's up? It's a full house for a little bit. Seth's got a curfew in a little. I don't want to talk about this game very long. Sure, a lot of you guys.
I want to talk about it.
Okay, yeah. So we'll sit back in a second. Let me go through the normal stuff, and then we'll let you rant. We'll let you do your thing. We'll let you talk about the game. All right. So IU loses. You guys know this. We lost. Don't need to do the score again. I'm not going to do the speech thing. I kind of did it sarcastically at the beginning. Season's not over. It's going to be okay. New rankings, 10 out of 10. 10 of 10. 10 out of 10 too, but whatever. And then we don't know college playoff yet because it doesn't come out until tomorrow. So we'll find out tomorrow. And again, all of it's irrelevant until everything's done and everybody's done playing football. So we could have a complete chaos day like we had on Saturday. But yeah, let me go ahead. Let me sit back. Let me introduce everybody again. You've already heard Brandon once. Seth's here as well. Seth, what's up?
Those sneaky little Mustangs.
Oh, SMU? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
They didn't do anything to help us out last week.
No.
They beat Virginia and covered. Maybe.
Oh, yeah. There's that part. That part's great. No. Those sneaky little Sooners, right? Those sneaky little Gators. Those powerhouse little sneaky teams. Yeah. So, all right. So normal formats, play of the game, marketplace. We do stocks up. You usually don't do stocks down, but you better believe we're going to do some stocks down on this one. Then we'll do a little break, and then we'll come back, revisit predictions, which I don't want to do again. And then we'll just kind of let Brandon do his thing for a while. Hopefully he's got less than 16,000 randos for you on this one. And then we'll get wrapped up at some point. So I don't have a play of the game, Brandon.
Oh, come on.
don't
There's
have
so
one.
many to choose from.
There's
none
one.
to choose from.
There's an
Yeah.
identifier.
You're not supposed to pick a bad play of the game.
It is a play of a game.
It's an IU podcast. It's a pro IU podcast. You don't.
I
can
went
talk about
positive.
Said play.
I went
later on and
positive.
stocks down.
And it was for me, the 4th-and-1 goal line stand. It was Kamara coming right over the edge. It was James Carpenter finishing it off. 5-star linemen, 5-star running backs, and IU just ripped right through that line to get the ball back up 7-0. Right? For me, that shows you can go toe-to-toe with a team as talented as Ohio State, who I think they have the most talented roster in the entire country. Both specifically in the trenches, where I think IU won. Where IU lost this game was on the edge. Where it lost this game was with special teams. I think IU went toe-to-toe, not just in this play, which was my play of the game, but the entire game. And again, going to be a running theme. I think IU had a lot of positives to take away from this, and everyone knows the negatives. So my play of the game was our best players on the defensive line standing up, making a play to keep IU in the lead.
Yeah, and also playing pass coverage. So there's that too. So,
Which is
Seth, did you
not
have a
great.
play of the game that's not the play of the game?
Yeah, it was the opening drive. When I said that Mike Shanahan was the key to the game, that was exactly the script that I had anticipated. Well, I'm not that good, but that was kind of the
That's
confidence.
what you wanted.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. The result, the identity that they were using, that was IU football that they had built over the first 10 weeks of the season. So it hit every one of those check boxes that I was looking to fill. The problem was I had, levels 2, 3, and 4 of that, which didn't quite hit the adjustments, didn't have the counter punches, didn't go for the kill. They did go for the kill in one time, but then it was too late after that. So, it was that I thought was such a great way to start the game. And then, like what Brandon said, getting the ball back and having a chance to go up even more, couldn't quite capitalize on that. But that was really a point where they said, we're here to compete. And it wasn't just, going to be an obliteration from the start.
Yeah.
Do you have another play of the game, Brad? Because I got a few honorable mentions if you don't.
No, I do not. Nothing stood out to me for us in this game. I thought it was just an evenly played game up and down the field. There weren't big plays outside of the special teams. So no, I don't.
What about tip drill? Tip drill interception, Jalen Walker.
The tip drill was nice.
What about Ponds Island?
None of this. We're going to talk about individual players in a little bit. But yeah, none of this. None of it flipped the game. It's
fair.
Somebody has to be the person. I'm with you. I've said it. We said it right after the game. We didn't play bad. We didn't do anything. We held Ohio State to the second least amount of total yards that they've had the entire season.
316.
Yeah. And they did nothing. I mean, you can go look at Will Howard's stats, but look at his average completion. It's way under 10 yards. He's hitting nothing but, hitches and middle, like short crosses. And it's just nothing stood out. I mean, in that after the first drive, other than the drive where we basically waved a white flag and just drove down the field in 9 minutes, it felt like. Nothing was good offensively. The defense did what they needed to do, but it just doesn't matter when you shoot yourself in the foot. So, you guys want to talk more plays, or what do you want to do? No.
No. We
I don't know.
Going.
All right, cool. Going. All right, let's hit the marketplace. So let's continue the negativity. Let's get this out of the let's get this out of the way. We'll do stock downs first, and then we'll go to stock up because there's not a lot there. But stock down, Brandon, I'll let you go offense. Who you got?
Hard for me to say.
I want to say something real quick, Brandon, before you start. I think this is the first time all season that we will do a full stock down. I think last week we did stock down.
I have 5 players.
Yeah, we did stock down last week for last game, Michigan, for one offensive thing, I think, but that was it. No defensive stuff. First time offense and defense stock down, maybe special teams.
For me, it was Shanahan. I mean, Seth already mentioned it. How do you not give Carter Smith help? Like, I wanted to put Carter Smith on the stock down, but like in my mind, he was getting no help. He was solo, either having to pick up blitzes or taking on DNs one-on-one. For me, how do you not put Zach Horton, who's one of the best blockers in the entire country, over there to chip every play? Right? I watch the Steelers every game. TJ Watt is taking on chips and extra tight ends every game. That seemed like a very obvious reaction from Shanahan. Never happened. Shanahan didn't seem to change up his play calls at all and never turned into more of a short, intermediate, quick passing game. Shanahan decided to just keep throwing the ball when we were getting about 4.5, 5 yards a carry.
4.5 from the running backs. Yep.
I mean, how many 2nd and 2s, 3rd and 1s did we just not convert because we decided to throw the ball?
There were two critical. And maybe 7-7. We got to a 2nd and 2. And I remember we looked at each other like, maybe we take a shot here. But I was, no, run. Just run it. You just got 8 yards on first down. Run it, pick up the first down, keep going. Nope. Pass, incomplete. 3rd and 2. Pass, incomplete. Never ran the ball again. Like, it was super frustrating. And yes, you brought up something we didn't talk about, I don't think, on Saturday, which was the lack of obvious hot routes. He was under a ton of pressure, knew it was coming. Nobody was sitting there waiting for the football. So I share the frustration with you. He was on my list as well. Anything else you want to add there?
No. So yes, Shanahan was number 1 for me as far as stock down.
So since this is the first time we've really done this season, I want to kind of reiterate what this means. We don't hate these people or players or coaches or whatever. We just, your stock is down. His stock's down right now. You got to buy Shanahan.
Was getting talked about head coaching positions. He was talking about Florida State's open OC position. Like Oklahoma. Shanahan was looking like the number 1 coordinator name in the entire country.
Yeah.
So when we say stock down, you nailed it. Like, I hope Shanahan stays as an IU offensive coordinator for the next decade. That's how much I love Mike Shanahan. We can say he had a bad game because guess what? He had a bad game.
Mm-hmm. All right. Seth, what do you got?
Yeah, I had the supplemental receivers. Elijah Surratt went 3 for 40, which isn't a big day for him.
It's a bad drop.
But you look at the other guys, Miles Price, 1 for 13, Ty Lawton, 2 for 9, Keshawn Williams, 2 for 6. That's it. I mean, when you got to have somebody step up, make a play, break a tackle. The thing that I noticed from the lack of Shanahan is there was no screen games to counteract when you have an imposing pass rush, you have to have some kind of screen game, horizontal game to keep them honest, to keep them guessing. And the lack of adjustment, but it's been in the play, in the program all the rest of the season.
And it's a massive part of it.
It just seemed like they forgot that page. It's like, you copy and paste 9 out of the 10 pages. There's just one missing. And for some reason that page just didn't get into the playbook. So I thought the lack of the supplemental receivers plus Shanahan was top on my list as well. Just not having the game plan to take advantage of the players. I mean, we watched the Oregon game again and again where Denzel Burke was getting roasted by Tez Johnson and Evan Stewart. There are opportunities for even lesser receivers at Northwestern were getting open. IU's were not. And so I think that was disappointing.
So I want to play a little bit. By the way, you kind of tied everything together. Mine was going to be the pass protection overall. But that ties into what Brandon said about having a lack of a tight end in to protect. They weren't bringing 5. They were bringing 6, 7, 8 in one case specifically, I remember. So I think it all kind of ties in. Do I think your stock down is a little harsh? Maybe, because I think that's a product of the fact that Kurt couldn't get rid of the ball. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe they were open. I don't know. Maybe you watched.
We got to talk about Rourke having stock down too. So
yeah.
In the press conference, they said that they could not change a protection at the line. That's why you have a 5th-year quarterback in there to make the changes in the huddle. Okay, it was loud. I've read all over how that was the loudest game in the stadium in years. That was apparent. It was very loud in that stadium. Okay, well, you huddle up and make the protection call there.
Yeah.
Right. So, and Rourke has to know that. Rourke just has to know that. So I'm not going to put Rourke stock down in his physical performance, but his mental performance. I thought left a lot to be desired.
Was he hurt? We talked about that on Saturday. Something didn't look right. He kept swinging his arm around. I think they showed blood maybe on his pants a couple times, right near where your thumb would hang down. I mean, what did he throw the ball? 12 times, maybe? Like single digits? Like, what was it?
8 for 18, 68 yards, an average of 3.8.
Yeah.
And he was sacked 8 times, right?
Sacked a ton. Anytime they brought pressure. Anytime. And that's the frustrating part. Yeah. All right, let's move over to defense. I know
They
we're
gave
Brandon's
Ohio
doing-
State credit for 5 sacks.
Oh my God, that's
Maybe it was
ridiculous.
8 total pressures that I saw.
It
8
felt
TFLs.
8
It
TFLs.
felt
that's
all
what-
game, every single time he touched the football.
Always seemed
Brandon.
on third down. Always
Yeah.
seemed on third down.
Yeah.
For me, it's the guy that I said on this podcast was turning into one of my favorite IU football players ever, regardless on offense or defense. Aiden Fisher, I counted missed at least 3 tackles. He was a complete non-factor. The defense played great. I'd say the defense was an A, but I still expect Aiden Fisher to make a play, make a couple plays, and I just thought he was poor. I still think he's an all Big Ten linebacker. I still love him, but I think we need to. I hope he hits film aggressively this week and make some changes, because we kind of saw it a little bit at Michigan State too, where he had a couple missed tackles and a few gap reads that were poor.
Yeah, let's take a step back, I think, because at least at IU, and granted to what everybody has said about this year's schedule, we do play big games or big teams every single year, right? A year in, year out. You're playing Ohio State, you're playing Penn State, you're playing Michigan, you're playing Michigan State, you're playing Iowa, you're playing, the big teams, right? This is hands down the biggest game those JMU players have been in. Not even close. And so, again, I'm surprised you even saw Aiden out there, Brandon. I wasn't sure he was there for half the game.
Couldn't tell unless he was messing up.
And maybe, again, we love Aiden Fisher. Love him. It could be a total scheme thing to where Ohio State said, I don't care what anybody does. You take number 4 out of this game. And maybe that's what happened. But again, this is the biggest game those dudes have played. I don't think there's a player on the team outside of the leftover IU players and maybe some of the Wake transfers or Texas Tech transfer or something that may have played in something similar to this, but no, not at this caliber. So mistakes stink. You can't make that many of them, but it's the right call. It's the right call on Stockdown. Seth, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to echo similar to what we did on the offensive side, talking about people in their biggest games of their careers. Talk about a guy who's highly sought after for his coordinating skills. Bryant Haynes was disappointing at times. The Linnell Carr in coverage scheme, which drove me absolutely bananas during the Coach Tom Allen days. All of a sudden, we saw it a couple times during the year. He's improved in coverage. Certainly, this is not a Linnell Carr issue. It's a time after time where all of a sudden Ohio State figured out when it was going to happen, and all of a sudden it was a Bukwa against him. It was a running back, in a deep coverage. It was time after time an exploitative position that they found themselves in. And for him to continue to go back to that well when it wasn't working was baffling, especially when so many defensive backs and even a couple of the linebackers had really good coverage days. So it's not like a situation where they were untrustable, that there had been some kind of ill-fated plays in the past. This was a situation where he thought, I guess, that they were going to be an advantage, but it ultimately ended up being a huge part of the downfall. And in a game where the Ohio State offense was not clicking on all cylinders, to give them those layups multiple times was devastating.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's one other super obvious pick, and I'll just say his name. We don't need to spend a whole lot of time, cursing him up and down like we may have done on Saturday. Sounds like maybe there's been enough said about him publicly and everything else, but I think James Evans his stock is at ground zero, right? It's at the bottom. It's where you can buy it for a penny. So
for a guy not asked to do a lot this year.
No, he's not. And I don't know if that's part of the issue. It doesn't matter. I thought his punts so far this season, maybe outside of one, have been pretty solid. And then, you get the perfect snap that hits him right where he needs to hit him. And then on the next punt, he outkicks his coverage and sends everybody one way and kicks it the other way. And it's just stuff you can't do it in this kind of a game. So, and again,
to follow up on that a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
Coach Sig, remember when he called out Donovan McCulley in spring ball? Remember when he called out the quarterbacks for having to play sharper during fall ball? He isn't afraid to call it what it is. And he didn't mention James Evans' name. He didn't even mention the drop snap from the clip that I heard. What I heard is they asked him about the punt, and what he said, it was a punt right. It was a punt right. The entire coverage was lined right. And not only did he outkick his coverage, he punted it left. So that is a recipe for disaster written all over it. So I think the blame is deserved.
Yeah, and that's enough. That's enough on that. Let's swing over. We'll do stock up. I forgot we haven't even done that yet. Let's do stock up, and then we'll take a quick break, and then we'll do some randos. So stock up, Brandon, on offense. There's not a whole lot. So
Lawton.
Yeah.
Lawton was so good.
Yes,
he really gave an explosion. I mean, I thought Justice Ellison, what he did, he got some ugly yards. But Lawton looked the part, which was really nice to see.
Yeah. 15 carries, 79 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5.3 yards a carry. Ellison looked pretty good. He had a couple big runs. I know he had a couple third down conversions. He was pretty good. Again, the running backs together, 4.4 yards a carry. I mean, if you go look at the box score, it's not going to tell you that. So, Seth, what did you have? Anything?
Yeah, I had the run game. I was impressed with what they were able to do. They were not, obviously, for the lack of the pass blocking and blitz pickup, that's a different story. But as far as making holes, being able to get the running backs in space, like you said, it was 32 between the running backs, at least. It was 32 rushes for, 141 yards. So they only ended up with 85, but that's when you have 56 yards of negative rushing between Evans and Rourke. So when you look at the pure run game stats, they were impressive on the road against 11 pros against the number 2 team in the country. So you have to be impressed. Obviously, Brandon picked Lawton, but I thought the entire run game coordination was on point.
Yeah, whenever they did call a run, that is, but
they need more of it. I was going to say that was the most, when you get behind, you lose it, but they needed, they should have run 50 times.
When it's 7-14, I mean, and you got a second and 2 or third and 1, you got to run the ball. I don't know what they were trying to do. It's fine. They get paid the money to do the things. They've led us to 10-1. I can't be that upset about it. Defense, there are a few. Brandon.
Yeah, I'll take one of the guys I already mentioned, man. I thought Pons was super impressive.
Had a great game.
When we actually ran man, which I don't think we ran near enough man. When we ran man, he was right there with Jeremiah Smith. He was right there with Mbuka. He was right there with whoever he was guarding. He made 2 or 3 what I thought were NFL level plays. We talked about it in the preview. I mean, there was probably a scout there from every NFL team, and Pons played like he knew what was on the line.
Yeah, he had 3 passes defended on the game, which is a lot in one game. Again, the only time, to my knowledge, the only time I saw anybody catch a ball against him is when he was sitting 5 yards off in a bubble in the zone. Man to man, never saw somebody catch the ball against him. They didn't throw it to him. Threw it at him 3 times. He knocked it away. So, yeah, totally agree with that. Seth, who do you have?
Yeah, I'm going to cherry pick the other obvious answer, and that's Jalen Walker. He had 4 solo tackles, 4 assists for a total of 8. He had a TFL and the interception. So he absolutely was a player up and down the game. It just, he needed a few more plays, a few more guys coming alongside him. So just a little bit, he was definitely a shining moment had several shining moments throughout the first and second half.
Yeah, those are the 2 I had written down. Walker led the team in tackles, and he was the only linebacker you could see out there. Brandon, did you have something else you want to add?
Yeah, I thought our safety play was really good. I thought TJJ, I thought Sean Ashbury, I thought Amari Farrell. I thought overall our safety play, like you said, nothing over the top. They had plays to go over the top. Will Howard, I can't even really think of any they attempted. So they kept everything in front of them, everything manageable. Which, how many times every week do you feel like you see a wide receiver streaking free? Chip Kelly can absolutely design explosive plays. I thought our safety group really kept them in tandem. So,
sorry, I was trying to show you guys. I just had a $1 bet on Justin Herbert first touchdown. That paid $23. All right, yeah. Is there anything else you guys want to add? Offense, defense, any players you want to call? I thought Elijah Hardy starting was pretty interesting. I thought he had a decent game for being a true freshman. Hard to pick anybody out.
The other name I had was a guy who we had forgotten about largely this season and had one of the big plays early on, and that was JMF. He had that big tackle for loss on, was it third and short that forced a punt? So again, just kind of, it took everybody to be competitive in this game, and just still wasn't enough. But he had a nice little flash play.
Yeah, and I'm sure Brandon will bring it up later, so I'm not going to talk about it. But man, the educated media, the people that watch the game, know what happened. Know that I'll say it now. One of the guys I listened to religiously, he's a national media guy, just said over and over throughout his show today, I wish those punts didn't happen, so that way we could redo the game without the punts, because I know that's not how it should have gone. So just stay positive. I know I'm trying to be the negative guy here. It's just because these two are being too nice to each other and everything else. So let's take a break. Then we'll do predictions and hand out a trophy, and then we'll do randos and hopefully get out of here. Maybe Seth's got a little in his sack. We'll see. Hold on. This episode is brought to you by your go-to expert in the Indiana real estate market. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in a home right here in the heart of the Hoosier country, Garrett Lawton with True Blood Real Estate is the agent that you need. He's not just a real estate agent, he's a Hoosier fan just like you. And Garrett knows Indiana inside and out, from Bloomington to Indianapolis and everywhere in between. Plus, his personalized service makes the buying and selling process smooth and stress-free. So if you're ready to make a move, give Garrett a call at 317-410-8851 or visit his website at lawton-realty.com. Okay, we're back. I predicted Ohio State 23, IU 24. Brandon predicted Ohio State 24, IU 23. Those were not good answers. Seth predicted Ohio State 27, IU 14. Congratulations, Seth. You get the win there, bud. Good job. First time you've projected us to lose, I think, and you got your wish. So, yeah. Let's move on. Do you have a speech or anything? Did you have anything prepared?
No, it just feels good to win anything at this point.
Okay, yeah, because it's gonna be real bad on Saturday.
Yeah.
Can't wait to talk about that. Brando, your randos, how many do you have?
4.
Oh, wow. All right, let's go.
All right. So I think there was an obvious worst loss this weekend. It was Alabama, essentially ending their season. Who do you think had the second worst loss this weekend? Because I think there was a lot of options.
Ole Miss. I think
Colorado.
Ole Miss had the worst one.
I thought
Colorado. Gotta watch out.
I'd lean
Kansas,
towards
man.
Yeah, 3 in a row for Kansas for upsetting ranked teams.
What about Texas A&M essentially ending their season against a 4-6 Auburn team.
They were dogs going in there, which blew my mind too. And me and you hopped all over that line. I think it ended up being, what did they end up going? Favorites going in, right? But I think they started as 2-point dogs or something, and they flipped the line. The bettors flipped the line on them, and they got smoked, right?
And they lost in quadruple overtime. It was an awesome game.
Oh, I thought they got smoked.
Do you have to believe in a team to think that they're disappointing when they lose?
Who did you
Texas
believe in?
A&M. I just never bought into them as a threat, but
No.
BYU ending their season.
Good.
Fine.
Are you sure? You're sure there's not 1 second left on the clock or any of that stuff? That was, dude, there he goes. That Arizona State coach again, just a psychopath. That guy.
Oh, he's nuts.
Yeah, he is.
He's
If
good.
you guys haven't seen, hey, do you have anything in there about Dion's son?
Shadur.
Yeah.
No, I
What's going to happen there? Has anything happened there? Let's talk about that for just a second.
Oh, he totally did not push anybody. No, I didn't see him physically shove an official. I didn't see that.
I feel like a lot of the focus is going back towards on how he had his knees decapitated. And there was no call on that.
Yeah. One doesn't make the other right. I mean,
it doesn't. And how he's not, I guess you can't fine him, suspended.
I
have no idea.
That seemed to be a line crossing situation.
But massive line crossing. Yes. All right, we can move on.
This is the one thing I don't want to talk about, but as an IU football podcast, we have to talk about it. Thoughts on Ryan Day sneaking it in after the play on the 1 yard line?
I don't blame
I wanted
him.
to leave, no doubt.
Yeah, no, I don't blame him. I thought it was
I was very upset. I was very
cool.
upset.
Oh, dude, yeah. In the moment, I was not happy, but I thought it was cool that Henderson went down. But then when he had to look over at the sideline and throw his arms up, like, what did I do wrong? Like, I hated the person that scored. I hated his little sideline celebration, and everything else that happened afterwards. It's just, but no, you know my thoughts on Ryan Day. They always stay the same. He's an idiot, and he's just a robot, and he sucks, and he's going to lose to Michigan on Saturday.
That would be amazing. I don't think so. I think they probably win by 30.
Yeah.
The line's at 23.5, largest line in the game history.
Where's it at?
I thought it was the shoe. I could be wrong.
If it's in Ann Arbor, I'm taking it.
I would not. Okay, let's talk Will Howard. That's my next one. We play this game sometimes in Randos. Will Howard is what?
Undrafted free agent.
Okay.
The same as the quarterback at Kansas State who went to Miami, and I can't Skylar Thompson.
Oh, Skylar Thompson. Yep. Skylar Thompson. Third string? No,
he took snaps yesterday. Second string. He's second string.
Yeah.
Miami,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I don't think he's good.
Will Howard is the reason Ohio State won't win a national championship.
There you go. He made no plays down the field. He had safe throw after safe throw after safe throw after safe throw. And the one time I think he tried to stick it in anywhere, it got picked off.
There we go. Last but not least, what did you think the overall media coverage was of this game?
Didn't watch any of it other than the fact that just saw literally before we started recording Joe Klatt's kind of recap of the game, which I agreed with, which other than the first guy I talked about, which is Dan Lebitard and Joe Klatt, those are the only two that I've seen, and I don't care about anybody else. I don't, especially not from ESPN.
So Saturday, before all the SEC meltdown, it was negative IU. But now it's all positive IU. It's so funny because now that they don't have teams to prop up, they have to prop up someone, right? No one can talk about Alabama. No one can talk about Texas A&M. No one can talk. You can't talk about Ole Miss. You can't talk about these teams, so you got to talk up someone. I just think it's so funny and so transparent that like they think they're slick, and it's just like it's so obvious. I don't know. I thought a lot of people showed their ass, and I couldn't be happier that they look like complete dum-dums. And that's all I got.
Good. They're all stupid, all of them. Remember when they said we're going to win like one game all season? Yeah, they're great.
17th in the league. 17th in the league.
Seth, what do you got?
As a fan of the 18th team in the league,
wait till we talk about them.
I was going to say, that's a perfect segue to get into my sack. And it's this. Nothing is effed.
Exactly.
Everything is fine. Because everybody else embarrassed themselves, and IU did everything they needed to do. You guys can delude yourselves into thinking that this was a 17-15 game because 3 touchdowns scored on 2 on special teams plays, 1 on a short field because of a sack strip. You can still carry on the narrative that you are clearly in the CFB picture. And so everything, we talked about, how do you survive a loss? This is exactly what had to happen. And that little 7 points they tacked on the end as a dick move made it seem like a little bit more than it was. But what exactly happened needed to happen. And you guys will end up what right now is the 10 seed, or as the 10th ranked team, most likely in the CFP, and will probably drop to the 11th team due to seeding issues. You guys are exactly where you need to be. And then you're going to come out next week in the bucket game after Thanksgiving and pound the absolute dog shit out of the Boilermakers. And you have every excuse now to run up the score, get the style points, because the difference between 10 and 8, between 11 and 9 is dramatic.
Yeah.
And so
an overnight babysitter for me.
Right, exactly. So you need to put yourself in a position to take advantage of the dominoes that are going to happen. There are going to be conference championships of 1s versus 2. We already know Oregon and Ohio State are like 99% chance they're going to face off against each other. We know that in the SEC, 2 very highly ranked teams are going to face each other. You have opportunities for improvement. I think Georgia doesn't want to go to the SEC championship because their number will drop if they lose in the SEC rather than them not making the SEC championship or winning it. There's like a 100% chance they get it in. If they do, there's a 98% chance that if they don't make the SEC championship, and then there's like an 80% chance that if they lose in the SEC championship that they'll get in. So all of these things are right in front of you. You are exactly where you want to be. And coming off a loss, it sucks because it's Ohio State, all that stuff. But you guys are still in a position to be in square, to potentially even host a college football playoff game. Just think of the incredible journey that you guys have been on. And it sucks for me to say because you now have to just beat the ever-loving shit out of Purdue. And there's no excuse to hold back at this point. There's no gentlemanly affair. It's style points, and everybody's feelings be damned.
So let's do this. This wasn't on the slate, but for some teams that are going to maybe stand in our way, right? You guys think Ole Miss is probably out. Georgia has Georgia Tech at home on Friday. It's 19.5 points. Georgia Tech's done some damage. Any chance there for Georgia Tech?
No.
None.
I don't think they
Michigan.
cover. I don't think they cover because
I don't think they cover either.
But Georgia Tech will win by 10, 12 points.
Georgia will win by 10.
Yes.
Here's a tricky one. Tennessee's got to go to Vandy on Saturday.
I like this. Vandy's dangerous. They're already bowl eligible.
Only 10.5 point favorites. Yeah, that's a tough one. Maryland visiting Penn State. That's a win. Notre Dame's got to go to USC. We know how this goes. Notre Dame's been bad in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, and have always hung with USC
This was
when
a
they
stat.
were great.
This was a stat a few weeks ago. Has a team other than Indiana covered going out west? I know that was the case a few weeks ago. I've kind of lost sight of that over the last few weeks, but like September, October, IU was the only team that had covered.
I don't
Going
think
west.
so, because Oregon and Washington had buys and USC played UCLA. So I don't know if
Yeah.
anybody's gone west in the last week or two.
7.5 points on that game. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You got
I don't
Auburn.
think I have.
Hold on. Oh, are you skipping over Clemson, South Carolina?
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
Yes, it
That doesn't-
does.
No, it doesn't. For what?
If Clemson
doesn't,
wins
if Clemson can't get in without making the ACC championship.
with only 2 losses,
Yeah, they're not. No,
That's
the
one of the
ACC
sneaky ones to worry about. I know.
the ACC is going to get one team.
Nope. SMU.
yeah,
SMU's not getting in either. They're
want
gonna
South
lose.
Carolina to win. You want South
They
Carolina to
will.
win.
South Carolina's good. I love South Carolina.
To eliminate Clemson.
Correct.
That's fine. I'm not worried about that game. SMU or Miami is going to be your only chance for the ACC. Speaking of Miami, they've got to go to Syracuse.
The
They have a
Carrier
terrible
Dome.
defense. Over under is 67.5. Yeah, that game, keep an eye on that. California plays SMU. We don't care about that. Washington's got Oregon. Washington at Oregon. That's a little bit of a rivalry game there. Texas has got to go to Texas A&M, Seth.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't played anybody,
Nope.
beat anybody. The one team they did play, they got whooped at home. Texas A&M hung with Notre Dame right down to the end, right? At the very beginning of the season. That might get a 3-loss SEC team considered. Other than that, that's it. But
should
that
be a
Texas
great
A&M
weekend.
game,
It
Oh,
should be
yeah.
a great
yeah,
game.
and Notre Dame USC stick out to me.
Hold on.
and-
There's a very dangerous game Friday night, Boise State, Oregon State. Odd time game, West Coast.
That doesn't do anything though, right? Other than knock them out of a top 4. They're going to win. They
Well-
won the conference, right? They're going to win the conference.
Yeah, they're guaranteed a shot. They're guaranteed a spot in the conference championship.
Okay, but they'll win the conference championship. But it's just where are they going to sit, right?
Yep.
Because they don't automatically get one of the top 5 spots, do they?
No, they're guaranteed either 1, 2, 3, 4, or 12.
Okay, so yeah, that would knock them out to
Or
12.
sorry,
because
not
they were supposed
guaranteed
to be.
12. Then they would slot inappropriately in their ranking. So right now they're ranked 12th.
Okay, all right.
So it's true.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Form
Yeah,
right now.
Oregon State's a decent team too, so that's a good one to watch on Friday. All right, that's it. That's it for this one. We are about ready to hit end and then start recording on another one because of the tight schedule with holidays and everything. So, yeah, you guys know the drill. Do whatever you need to do that you don't do, and then join us later this week as we preview the end of Ryan Walters' career at Purdue. Till then, cheers.
Cheers.
I'll cheers that.
Yeah, you would.